Mike, 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 Mike.
3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay.
They can hear me? Cool.
Ade.
Are they testing? I'm cool. Good morning.
Your president said to the losers,
Which?
better luck next time. Now that we have completed this cycle of elections, I urge all Gambians to now focus on national development and solidify the peace and stability of the country.
Yep. Very presidential thing to say.
The speech is wrong.
Why? What should he say? Is wrong or is long?
Wrong.
In what sense?
Grammatically.
Why?
You did not see his tweet?
No. All right, what did you do?
For that. Sometimes this is what happened. We are back. This is QTV This Morning, and wherever you're watching us from, we are telling you we miss you. We were not here yesterday to bring you the This Morning. Well, it's still same, Mr. Adek.
Indeed. Welcome and good morning. And I guess, not only we're saying we miss you, but we hope that you missed us too. So, and also just to tell people about the sort of slightly different arrangements in terms of time, because people were used to it starting at 10 o'clock. So they might be thinking, is this the same program? It is the very same program.
Absolutely.
Slightly
it's
curtailed.
still your This Morning.
It's curtailed because of the
Good Morning and This
inquiry.
Morning.
Yes, let me finish.
Balde.
Don't end the time.
Okay.
We are halfway.
I know.
Gone. So don't shop.
No, I just wanted to explain why we're starting slightly.
Because of the Commission of Inquiry.
Commission of
Balde,
Inquiry.
don't call my boss again.
Yes,
Your boss want to. He want to coup d'etat the
You
time.
don't do that.
Good morning, Balde. Good morning, Mr. Ade, and good morning to our viewers from wherever you're watching us from. It's always good to be back on this morning platform.
Exactly. It's good to be back on This Morning platform. We won't do the African proverb today, but we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll go to the review. I know today we'll be talking a lot about elections. That's the council elections.
The talking point everywhere you go. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Medicalia is a high-quality clinic from Europe, which is now in the Gambia. Do you have an eye problem? Do you feel a hearing difficulty? Medicalia is here to ease the pain for you. The first and only hearing aid dispensing facility nationwide, where patients can be tested and treated to recover from their hearing loss. Fitted with latest generation equipment, our doctors can provide healthcare assistance for eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Common diseases like glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy can be diagnosed and followed up for fast and correct treatment. Make your appointment with the eye or ear, nose, and throat ENT specialist today to relieve any pain you might be feeling, as consultants are available daily. Contact us for more information. Visit us at Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123. Medicalia, premium care, personal touch.
Step into the...
Thank you. We are back, and this is QTV this morning. We are back again, and now let's talk about the council elections. I mean, well, interesting over the weekend. I mean, Saturday, the 20th of May, Gambians went to the polls to elect the person who's going to steer their affairs for the council, the councils throughout the country, I mean, for the coming years. And we have seen a lot of, I mean, some people were disappointed, some were happy, some said NPP lost, some people said no, NPP did not actually lose. I mean, they were not having any person there, but now they have at least 4 of them.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I think we were discussing this before we came on air, and I think the reason why people are saying they lost is because it was clear that they had targeted the urban areas, so Kanifing, Banjul, you know, West Coast particularly. We saw the president lend his presence to the campaigns for those people, and they didn't win. In fact, they fell quite some way short of wresting control from those which were already in UDP hands. So, you know, for those reasons. But I think one of the things we have to address is that even our reporters were guilty of this, certainly in the regions as they went around. They were talking about low turnout. And in fact, in no single one of the 8 places where people voted was the turnout lower than it was in 2018. In fact, it went up massively. So, and I don't want to embarrass the newspaper, but one newspaper yesterday, the headline was poor turnout. But let me just give you one example. In Banjul, in 2018, the electorate, 47% turnout. This time, 71.5. I could go on.
Yeah, what a huge
I think
margin.
the lowest margin anywhere was 12% increase. So there was no poor turnout. It's a nonsense. So let's, you know, kill that one. You know, the stats do not support it. You know, in no single places was the turnout lower than it was in 2018. So that's that. So it shows you that people actually care about local issues. We were a bit worried going into it. We had discussions here, and we all talked about, you know, it's likely to be a poor turnout because of what happened in the National Assembly and in what happened in the council elections. I mean, council elections, in some instances, there's 25% turnout.
Yeah.
In fact, across the board, that was the average turnout, 25%, which was pathetic. And we thought this one would be as low or lower. But thank God it was much, much higher. So that was good to see.
Exactly. So people are connecting this to, I mean, certain issues in the country. I mean, people are talking about the standard of living. People are talking about security. People are talking about the AKI. People connected this to even NAWEC.
And you made, yeah, you can answer that, Julie, as he's directed it to you. But you're right, in the sense that even though it was a local election, many times when we went around, people were talking about national issues. You're talking about AKI. You're talking about, you know, security. You're talking about the cost of living. Those are not local election issues. They're not things that your council can deal with. And yet, that was the talking point. And it shows you that for many people mentally, even local elections, they kind of process it through the prism of the national situation.
Absolutely. But I mean, even though they are local issues, I mean, you know, these councils are also in the grassroots. They are there to help the development at the grassroots level when it comes to water, when it comes to good road network, you know, and all this. So in one way or the other, they are really affected. People are affected. That is why it was really an issue for most people, especially the NAWEC issue. And one online medium was like, who advised the president, you know, to increase the tariffs at the time where we are in an election cycle?
As if the president is the one who
exactly
increased it. I actually saw that, and I know the one you're talking about. And I read it, and I thought, for a newspaper, that's being slightly disingenuous, because the president doesn't go around telling NAWEC increase the prices and so on. It's not his. It's other words, you're saying NAWEC has no autonomy. No, if it goes up or it goes down, it's not the president telling them to do that. And yet that's the perception. And for us journalists, we should be doing better. It should be our job to explain, not to muddy the waters by actually mentioning things like, oh, why did the president do this? When it's actually not within his ambit to do any of that kind of stuff. He doesn't decide, oh, I'm going to put up you know, water price and electricity prices. It's not up to him. You know.
Absolutely. So for many people, these were the issues that they raised, and you know, for you know, the people that we engaged with, their concern is if the government cannot provide them with reliable electricity, water supply, food, you know, and all these basic, you know, things that everybody needs in an everyday life, you know, what makes them think that, you know, at the council level or at the grassroots level, they're going to really effective development at the grassroots level. So that was the issue for many. And I think this is a learning point, not just for the NPP, but for every Gambian. Now, it's not as, you know, business as usual. Things have changed. You know, now it's not, okay, Mr. Ade is my boss, now he's vying for the position, I'm going to vote him in or whatever.
Yeah,
but if
absolutely.
Mr. Ade is not up to task, I'm not going to vote for him.
Yeah.
That's just it. And for the first time in the history of the country, now you hear people say, okay, I am a supporter of this particular party.
The individual.
Exactly, but
Right.
but
Yeah.
I'm not really going to vote for the president, you know, for the party, but I'm going to vote for the individual because I believe the president, you know, delivered so, which I think is really encouraging in our, you know, electoral cycle.
I think we are now learning, I mean, how to be mature when it comes to elections in the Gambia. Even if you look at the Talib campaign, I mean, you can see how he designed his campaign. I mean, he designed 2 sets of T-shirts.
Right.
There are people that, you know, they won't wear the yellow T-shirt as much as those that won't wear the ash-color T-shirt or the green T-shirt.
Sure.
But, I mean, he designed the white T-shirt for those that are not in the yellow
They're
party.
not party members.
Exactly. But let us also, I mean, recognize the efforts of the UDP, what they did. I mean, many people thought UDP is going to, I mean, lose Banjul, Kanifing and Brikama. We all, I mean, most of the people, that's what they thought.
It's
you
true.
understand?
And
But it's like they went back to the drawing board and, you know, they try to strategize and put up very strong pillars to make sure they win the elections. And here they do.
I'd agree with you. And I think one of the things that they did that kind of resonated with people, and for me, that's what you should do. If you're an incumbent and people are trying to dislodge you, you go to the electorate and you say, look at my record. Look at what I've done. This person who's contesting against me is promising lots of things that they can't deliver. They haven't got the finances, they haven't got the resources to do what they claim. With the resources that I have, this is what I've done. Judge me on that. And you're right. In Banjul in 2018, Rohey Malik Lowe, she won by only 455. That's how close it was. At this time, much bigger margin. But also, of course, many more people voted as well. But so, yes, I mean, particularly KM and Banjul, they're like the jewel in the crown. Those are the ones that NPP would have wanted probably more than any other, because, you know, to get the capital and to get, you know, the biggest sort of urban area close to the capital would have been the ones that they would have wanted to snatch.
Absolutely.
But you had 2 incumbents, very well known nationally and internationally, and they were able to fight them off by saying, judge me on my record. And you know, don't go for promises that somebody's making that they probably can't deliver. So,
Well, I mean, most of the people, when you talk about the elections, they'll tell you, forget about upcountry, forget about URR. The ruling party is going to win upcountry. I mean, but I'll tell you something. I mean, the votes that come from upcountry, they are just a small margin compared to the West Coast, the KM, and the Greater Banjul area. You understand? Well, it is fair enough because of certain developments that are done by the ruling party in the provinces. I think they've done tremendous well. You understand? But I think this is a wake-up call for the ruling party. I mean, to go back to the drawing board and do what they have to do.
I keep telling my journalists to stop referring to it as the ruling party, because they don't have a dominance in the National Assembly that would make it. It's the president's party. Let's just call it that. You know, and it's the president's party. They're not the ruling party, because even if you took the municipal councils, they're not the ruling party in those councils.
I am told we have the speech of the president. I mean, we'll take a look at it. And, you know, from there, then we can discuss it. Sure. Yeah,
Thank you very much. And I think, first of all, I will seize the opportunity to congratulate the Gambian people for participating in these mayoral and chairperson elections. I am very happy with the process. I think it was transparent, and I think the Gambian people have spoken loud and clear. I think as a country we should all respect that. This is the last election of the cycle of elections. I think now we seize the opportunity to congratulate the winners and the losers. For me, there is no loser in this, because we are all Gambians and we all want to develop this country. So I think all of us are winners in this. What one advice is, I think we should now come together, forget about differences, forget about party, come together and work for this country. If you are elected, it's a position of trust. And the trust is the people want you to contribute, work for them, and change their life, impact in their life. I think that is the main purpose of the elections. That's why people are elected in office. As president and head of states, it is my responsibility to make sure that we maintain peace and stability. But I cannot do it alone, so I'm calling on all Gambians to come and join me so that we work together, develop this country, maintain peace and stability. I think it is proven beyond any reasonable doubt that Gambia, our democracy, is moving on, and we are building a strong foundation of democracy going forward. Why I mention that is because all these elections were very peaceful, from the process of campaign up to election day, up to the final results. All was really very, very peaceful. And that's what we are praying for, so that we organize a very peaceful election in our country. I think Gambia now, Africa can use Gambia as a sample, that our democracy is maturing. But we still have a room to improve on our democracy. We all learn from our mistakes moving forward. But I think overall, I am very happy with the entire process. And I thank the Gambian people, and I thank political party leaders, for participating in these elections. And as Gambians, we fulfill the electoral cycle in the entire process. And I will also thank the IC for being really committed and work very hard to make sure elections are conducted in this country peacefully. We thank government also for providing the funds for us to organize these very important elections. And on that note, I thank the media, I thank the Gambian people, but I still encourage Gambians to make sure they take all these elections seriously. We will be organizing other elections again in another cycle, but the turnout in the presidential election was about 89%. I think this time it is really on the low side. We are still not very satisfied. People are coming to make a decision, people to represent them in office. So we call on Gambians to make sure we take elections seriously.
You are watching QTV. This morning we are back, and the program is sponsored by Opticalia. They are located at the Tropic Shopping Center in Senegambia. And that's the president there.
Yes.
I mean, congratulating the winners, and of course also telling those that, lose, hard luck next time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, let's move. It's time to walk now. It's let's finish with this political difference all the time. Let's see how best to create way forwards. You understand? And also, you know, it's he said it's one of the most peaceful elections ever.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's true. And, you know, I'm going to say this slightly controversial. Leading up to it, there were some people who were predicting violence, almost as if they wanted violence. And I remember saying to them on air, I said, stop wishing for violence. I'm from Sierra Leone. We know what electoral violence is. You know, one guy getting arrested is not violence. You know, 10 or 11 people getting killed has happened recently in Sierra Leone. That's real election violence. Don't wish it upon your country. And we've never had that in the Gambia, and we would never wish it in the Gambia. And so let us continue in this way. And he's right also, because if you look at everybody's promises, they're all talking about development, they're talking about infrastructural development, they're all using developments, and that's what we want, regardless of party. And so obviously we all have to work together. You could tell he was a bit subdued because his party didn't do as well as he would have liked, particularly as he gave his personal you know, stamp on the campaigns. You know, you saw posters where there was him and there were 3 of the candidates who were contesting. They didn't win the big seats that they wanted, so it's slightly subdued. But he's right. You know, to the winners you say congratulations, to the losers you commiserate and say, you know, maybe better luck next time.
Julia, what's your take on the president's speech?
I think we should welcome it for the fact that this is not the first time he's talking about development. Even during when he went to vote in Banjul at the Makati Square, he said the same thing. Now that the election cycle is over, let us all focus on development. Let us maintain the peace and tranquility that this country is enjoying. So, and I think that is the same thing that goes for the opposition as well. Talib, Bensouda and Yangs, they are all saying the same thing. Now they want the president to really support them in their developmental agendas and then for the country to move forward. I think that is the interest of everybody, not just the president and his party or the opposition party, but if the country develops, it's for the good of everybody. But if it is bad as well, it is for everybody to suffer. So I think it's high time. Elections are over, the electoral cycle is done. Let us focus on development and focus on, you know, progressive development and not just focus on politics. Politics is over now. We've seen, like, you know, people have learned. I want to believe that Barrow and his party, they have learned, the UDP as well, they've learned, and the Gambians people have learned as well. I mean, we decide, the Gambians people have decided. So it's clear to them what Gambians people really want. So it's up to them to really, you know, deliver to expectations, or we also, you know, we are waiting for them in the next electoral cycle, that is 2026.
You know, many years ago, I mean, Gambians think it's not, I mean, the marble cannot make a difference. That is, I mean, you cannot usher someone out with a marble.
Sure.
You cannot win elections with, through a ballot box in the Gambia, you know. But we proved it to be, you know, the truth when it comes to elections in 2016, when we ushered former president out of this country with a marble. You understand? So I think people are now learning, and people are getting used to elections now. People now understand how important elections are to, you know, if at all a person you voted in is not doing well, I mean, and you've engaged him on several occasions, and, you know, he did not take heed. Just wait for him at the end of the tunnel. You know, because at the end of the time, you have your marble, you go and drop it and usher the person out. Simple.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there are 2 challenges, I think, going forward. One is for the elected, and the other challenge is for the electorate. In almost all the regions we looked at, people talked about waste management. Look, for me, waste management is not just the job of whoever you elect. It's you and I. If I'm driving in my car, I finish drinking my Coke and I throw it out of the window, what the hell's that got to do with the guy I elected? It's me. I'm the one who's being filthy. We need to check ourselves and address ourselves. There's too much of that. You see it the guys in my car, they always laugh at me because every time it happens, I react to it, you know, and it happens commonly and frequently. You know, we need to stop that. You know, so, you know, these people talk about waste management. Well, we have a role to play as well. And until that changes, we'll be talking about it forever.
For waste management, it's difficult to maintain, I mean, to contain. You might think, okay, if I take my coffee, that, I mean, recycled plastic cup that I have, maybe if I throw it, it's just one. I mean, maybe it won't.
Everybody thinks
someone will throw another one will throw
100 people throw.
You know, there was a time I was driving with someone that I picked on the roadside. We were going, and I think the person was with peeled a banana and wanted to throw it. I was like, no, not from my car.
Not from my car, exactly.
Put it in the car.
Yeah.
You know, so I think these are things that we have to do. We have to be responsible.
Absolutely.
In other countries, you are not even mad to throw that. Otherwise, they will find you.
Listen, in other countries, it's not even about being fined. People just don't do it.
Like Cape Verde.
I wasn't going to say Cape Verde, but it's true.
Our country.
I mean, in all the
No,
time.
let's talk about Rwanda.
Okay, well, Cape Verde
Rwanda
is
is clean.
Cape Verde is
Closer.
700 kilometers from here, so it's much closer. Why don't we emulate them? This is an ECOWAS country. Believe me, in 10 years of going to Cape Verde, I never saw anybody throw even a cigarette on the floor. Never mind. The place is so clean, your food will fall down on the pavement.
Someone
you
said
pick it
to
up
me
and
in
eat it.
Rwanda, you can even eat from their gutters,
It's
like
true,
put food and sit
particularly in
their
Kigali,
gutters and eat.
particularly in Kigali. But honestly, Cape Verde is just as clean. But you know, on a more serious note, how have they managed to do it? You know, they've done it by education. I went in and sat at the back of a class of 5-year-old children. I just wanted to see, you know, how they taught in the schools because I have an interest in education. They sang the national anthem. And then the first thing the teacher said before they even started the lesson, remember children, never throw litter in the street. I thought, oh. And they tell them that every day. And so they don't do it, you know, at 5 years old. So they grow up with that mentality.
The worst thing, you're seeing a grown-up standing just in the street and urinating on the walls. You understand? A grown-up, 35 above. You are no more youth, my friend.
Listen,
you know.
we're not the only ones who have that problem, by the way. They just had a debate in the French parliament because apparently in Paris it is rife that men go and urinate in Paris, one of the so-called big cities of the world. Just last week they were debating it in parliament about whether they, because the law says they should be arrested, but nobody's been arrested for 10 years for it. So yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ade, for you know, reviewing these things with us. So, you know, it's always, we are always grateful and happy to learn from you and Mr. Momodu Mbodj. I've not seen him. Is he around?
He's upset somewhere. He's working on a project.
Okay, all right. Mr. Mbodj, where are you? All right, we'll take a short break. After the break, the program continues. We'll be back.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system, reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
QMoney is back again with its easy-to-use, secure and convenient mobile app that allows you to carry out all your transactions. No matter where you are or what time it is, you can always access your funds. With the new QMoney app, you can cash in and out, buy credit, buy QPower, shop, make payments, and so much more. You can also send QMoney, pay bills, receive international remittances, and transfer cash to others. Just download the app from your Play Store or App Store and get started. For more information, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. We innovate, others follow.
Opticalia is a leading European brand which is now in the Gambia. Are you looking for glasses? Then you have come to the right place. As a first step, we will perform an eye exam to ensure we prescribe the correct lenses for you. After that, you can select a frame of your choice. We have a variety of brands in stock, and you will definitely find yours. You can have the full package of frame plus lenses starting from $990 up to more for the most fashionable options. Once you find a frame you like, your lenses will immediately be edged by our lab technician. Within 30 minutes, you will be able.
Thank you. We are back. After an interesting engagement with our head of news department, Mr. Ade, you lady said a child among men will soon be a man.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I know we're learning from Ade, and very soon we'll also be ready for the work.
Yes.
Yes. So Mbokai Delsinang, what we'll be discussing is cervical cancer free screening for women that was held yesterday at the Kanifing General Hospital. The National Cancer Control Program, Kanifing General Hospital, in collaboration with Go2Go, organized a free screening for women. And we have the personnel who were there, Fatoumata Jaite, Principal Program Officer, National Cancer Control Program, Ministry of Health, and Dr. Hadiba, Chief Laboratory Scientist at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. ñu ngi leen a dalal ci programme bi. ñu ne leen jërë ngeen jëf. seen liggéey rafet na gis nañ ko. dañoo starté ak Fatoumata. wax ñu tuuti about this day.
jërëjëf rafetlu nañ ci seen ale mul invite ñaami njang wo kuwe mul kontaan baakele nte mu Fatoumata Jaiteh comme ya fo ñaami kununga programme min organize Kanifing leptano to ning Go2Go a programme keta cervical cancer screening lati nga advert sul kele social media jandim baakele like 2-3 weeks ago nga kele nga 200 musu keme fula njikita nun ko wolle binala nga wolle target nun kunu bari abete atale because mu keme tallulu ne lulu wolle natana andung hanim bi dol bina kana kandung kon dol yamira nun abekela lukun killing programme multi wari anata ke lukun anata ke tili killing programme multi bari nsafo musol fana yeko programme mo nyin kunun neng screening ti free screening kunun neng ngake whole day programme multi bara abekela kulti mi yalon ka bek stay la janne is here to stay to babol setale bari bagasul to janne andu londo fana be mol bulle min be Gambia dingol ya londo sotole sa programme mo nyin abe continuer la le abe continuer la Kanifing abe continuer la ke Banjul abe continuer la ke Fajikunda Bundum Maternal and Child Hospital Sukuta Health Center wol beba ateso continuer la kake
Okay, akuma yata bake pour nga nyin kacha ni ko cervical cancer laftale pour ya fo mole mune mo woti
yo ni ko cervical cancer man ni kango cervical wolon wulu nyango anin musol la musu ya commencé ta damin idan kafuta nyona damin wolen cervix ti man din kango la yo nyin kuran keso ga fu min nako cervical cancer aka muso muta wodu laleto andum cervical cancer aketa kulete mi yalon ko alafta kawa ku yala domande bari kule fana mo mi yalon ka tede jaro diata fana kurangol beto ni yalon ibake la nyame yo cervical cancer te asatare balo kono ay tara balula je cancer nyetare balo kono asata anu fasanji lulu fasanji tang ite abete min fongo balay talon ita taman sir fongo jela ibe tara jela because musol jeni je samo ya fonga seketo soto osi ata Gambia musol kono momo nga seketo le soto say ni mali lafta kalon comme nyin cancer courant abe balo kono le ibalon na nyame wolen ibina leptanol to ikana si ya fo kon sa tale wala nga seketo le soto wala nga fenne soto wuli fongo e dron yeta le pitando de afo na ta test le la test nyin free le saate do le ka keta Gambia fo dula dol bije ka ke wili kilinati badin tol ba ke kan free le ti fulo parce que lafta musol lena yoni tata ninga ateso nyinke ateso bukame ifo nka di fongo le yake fongo e dron ntol nganna bagasol sambalap anti hadi nyol yela labron nim pare tanga results fo ninga kuran keso nyinje ila ulu nyango nyin da to jitenti nka jarale a jararo nyin 1 minute dron akanta wala masingo bijele wala HPV fenko nyinti testi wala ni cervical cancer ni fenko ke pap smear ni positive ni lesion sol soto lesion sol wala amanke angale kan wote de bari nka fenne jije mi yalon ko kuran ke so ta man siru nka jijele woy sa woje no nyamin wala ni nata leptano bani man na leptano to itajela iyo ala ta man sir dol fanam bije muso ka sile yetara yelo jikan muso mi yalon ko ibe la kuru wato kono e kasi la don yelo je hana tara man tara kuru la walanten hani ye kuru ke foye bandi isaje ka yelo je walanten ni nin ke o kafuta dron ise yelo je walante ita foye la kuru e kuntu katu ko muso ni tata foye futata certain stage e ka fo mi menopause ni futata o dron ya kuru ka kuntule yo la kuru ka kuntu ye si dron ko te ke jiyo ye fenko je yelo je akana ko se mari ja halfo ni momo e woje ngal dani dron e kana si suwo kono fam isi boro ko watari hata nyaawo nyaa e futa leftano katu ko katara akuma seta bari ni woketa minna isi ta suwo kono itata sare ya itata pate ya ko mofin jararo nata da faleta wosiyata bakele nata da faleta dron aka kolyantol bulu bakele yontol gambia dingol fongo sina singa fu gambia leftano jaral tija gambia leftano jaral tija asa tarete mari sita suwo kono le fa aleta silanga satantol ta koku kelano andun kansa dun jaral kilinne balak dunia be kono aka jara gambia janyama aka jara dula be to wala ha.
Okay. Auntie Hadi, at this point, you engage la. They gala, they don't send to one around 200 people. Why guess around 155 new show up. So nyata dangen detect because hamna cancer is a very prevalent issue. Over 600,000 women nyoko in 2020 alone. So nyata net new test positive and nyata net new test negative so far since screening.
Okay, again, Jeff, for the invite. Coming our head, 200 women don't expect them. Unfortunately, we had 155, which is not bad at all. Turnout be bad na torop. Legi bunjele sample ñu ngi leen send to lab bi tey la ñoo def what we call the HPV genotype screening. HPV virus boo xamante la moom moo de cause 99% of the cervical cancer si jigéen ñi. Just pour ma explain a little bit about virus bi. Virus bi dafa nekk loo xamante ne muy jigéen muy góor. Once ñu become sexually active, they will be didn't get infected with the virus. However, virus bi immune system bi xam nga suñ yaram bi body bi am na ay soldat yoo xamante ñoo ko dee garder ñoom dinañ fexe xeex ak moom ba génne éliminer ko waaye nag am na yoo xamante ne ni yoo xamante ne high risk lañ mel ni bu ñu ooyee HPV high risk 16 ou 18 ak yeneen high risk virus bi yooyu suñ persisté body bi mënuñ koo génnee ñu yàgga si système bi moom moo dee lead to cancer ak yeneen cancer waaye comme que tey cervical cancer la ñoo waxtaanee moom virus bi moo dee cause about 99% of these cancers. Léegi fu mu ne nii collect nañ 155 seen nañ ko si lab bi so tey nañ screen yëpp pour ñu xam yan jigéen ñoo ñoo amee virus bi boo xamante ne dina lead to cervical cancer. Démba nag def nañ beneen test bu ñu ooyee VIA. VIA is a very simple procedure boo xamante ne ni clinique bi lañ ko defee and am na yenn jigéen yoo xamante ne ni positive nañ te defal nañ leen treatment bi foofu leen right away. So li ñoo waxtaan rek mooy dina ñaax suñ mbokki jigéen ñi because cervical cancer mooy nekk number 1 cancer si Gambia bi buy rey jigéen ñi and statistics bi wane na ne 286 women were infected in 2020. And out of those 236 women, 199 women died. And that's very, very alarming. Cancer dafa nekk feebar boo xamante dafa saay-saay. Dafa mun a nubu. By the time muy wane boppam fekk def na yaxa yu bari. So ñu ngi ñaax suñ mbokki jigéen ñi this is a free screening program. ñu génna ñu dem def screening bi and ñu ngi target ñoo xamante ne they are sexually active ñoo xamante ne 26 years ba 65 years suñ ko amee then they can come out.
Wa ante hadi ñeneen yi fu mu nekk ay xale yi léegi xaaratuñ 26 years de.
waaw loolu dëgg la ba pare suñ contexte bi sax nga xamante dañ dee teel a sëy.
sëy exactly
dañ dee teel a sëy. waaye comme nu ma ko waxee si beginning bi virus bi dafa nekk loo xamante ne ni ñu bari they will be infected with the virus. waaye système bi immune système bi dina ko clear. so suñ starté di jël lower. then da ngaa gis ne dañoo subject ñooñu to invasive procedure boo xamante is unnecessary. so moo tax ñu peg ko at that age. yeneen dëkk yi ñoom 30 years and above la. waaye because ñun suñ Gambia bi dañ dee teel a sëy da ngaa gis koo xamante am na 14 15 sax ñu may ko jëkkër so loolu tax na ñu wàññi ko to 26 waaw so loo xamante ne gis nañ di high risk type foofu therefore dinañ jox ñooñu treatment waaw Fatou wax na lu important comme jigéen yoo xamante ne ni dañoo nekk suñ sëyee ak seen partner si ñu gis deret o ñu dem ba fekk nañ ñu ne jeexal nañ foot ba pare ñu commencé di gis deret and they will have this concept di wax ne dañ ma saani korte moo tax maa ngi gis foot dañ ma saani korte moo tax suma biir bi di miiti so yooyu yëpp fekk cervix bi moom fu mu nekk lesions yi they are progressing to cause cancer so moo tax ngaa dee gis deret boobu so dafa important nag lu ñoo wax ne prevention is better than cure is really important for women to come and get screened and get treatment if they are positive and then they would live a very healthy and fruitful life.
So cancer bi dégg naa ne comme góor yi duñ dee am cancer de cervical cancer but they are carriers of cervical cancer. How is that done? Naka la dee mën a nekkee?
Wow, because when we talk about cervical, jigéen moo ko dee am. Now the virus, because góor bi mun na get infected with the virus. So su sëy ak jigéen mun na transmit the virus si jigéen bi.
Fekk daf ko jëlee si beneen jigéen.
waaw fekk mun na ko jëlee si beneen jigéen. waaw waaye moom tamit comme like what I said earlier on. muy góor muy jigéen once nga become sexually active you will get infected with the virus. Okay you will get ba pare virus bi nag mun nga ko am si sa skin waaye there are different types so bu dee fekk si sa skin bi boobu moom daf dee cause ay lu ñu ooyee genital warts waaye bu dee cause cancer boobu is mucosal. I'm not going to be too scientific or technical here. It's going
because I'm already confused.
So bobu moom moo dee lead to cancer. Dafa am ñaari façon low risk high risk. So high risk bi nag moom moo dee cause cancer. waaw waaye góor bi moom mun na ko su ko amee mun su sëyee ak jigéen mun na ko jox jigéen bi loolu mun naa nekk and then jigéen bi moo amee cervix then cervix am bi will be affected and if treatment is not given on time it can lead to cancer waaye tamit góor bi mun naa get infected with the virus and then dina am what we call penile cancer. The virus bi daf dee cause penile cancer si góor daf dee cause anal cancer si góor. Anal cancer moo nekk kamekaay bi daf dee cause cancer foofu tamit daf dee cause cancer tamit si put bi mu puti góor ak jigéen yëpp so these are things why soo gisee nag ñun we are more concerned about cervical cancer because moom 99% moom moo dee cause cervical cancer waaye yeneen yi daf ko dee cause waaye bariwut comme nu moo cause cervical cancer si jigéen waaw.
Just to help with Manika Kango, HPV virus studies ya itandile kom akatara kewal la futudu la bala kewo sa soto no ayatara fongo coming ama soto mula man sawo mula abe kewola futudula fongo le fongo bala so wala yatinna di hamu ko la yatala nak so wala yatinna dika advocate pour ka kewol samba kasa yoto jama kewol mi manta kasa yoto wolle gena sa asatono ka tariyanda se tol fongo mantora no fang parce que abe siala le sojdat abe tol fongo mantora le foy nyim penal kansa nyol soto yo niaje sometimes will one common baake kanyin aka kansa soto e mari aka di la foy la trutto yalo nyi nyaban la ba mul kenyal siyata mul ka futu sifa be leke so aman jadi ngadungo kono baake aha so wodam bu fanan sati nano ya soto ila trut kono badi kewol mi yalon ko comme misa comme ça esta ila risk pour HPV soto abe do yala baakele badi HPV fongo aka tara kewol futu dulaldo so wala atinna kewo atele ka musu sawno HPV la wala na HPV momi man kewolon momi man commencer ka futu ita tar yala ka HPV soto yenyi ninka do fo iko mun yatinna mon be min be sanji morning woro kana e duma mbuka wall screen so ay min fo wokuma yatale gambe janka futu junale mon ka futu junale so ikajele ko nying HPV virus nga fa nu jangne kan aka me mula system ko non do bi asita fu sanji lulu sanji tanjana ka findi say wulati nangi target 26 years to kata fo santo e parce que ni yakum ni fututa 18 years o nga expect ko gambia jang no moral sometimes bari jamalo falentale sa so sa fo no ni moya kuma se ka fwani ke about 15 years so in the next 10 years of 25 lete kata e 26 lan say target no wato nga fo ko maybe HPV virus ni asatarena bari multiple sexual partners mo fanan katinale HPV mo katariya kanyin cervical HPV jama so de balo ko na ke cervical cancer iyo modol aferenti dol bije mo yalla ne ko iman study mo sol dol isitara ke wol falin na ya fo menna jamano le kono bari na meta don e kanyin courant sotole so HPV fanan sometimes imani la immune system mo fa wala jata bambang ha okay ma ko ele ni min na immune system o luta momi e TB soto momi e HIV soto akatari yake kutu wala bari momi mekende yaren kes imanyin sa salbe soto asatare balo kono no fo sanji jama ame kutuyla amambo e balo kono am finti balo kono ha nyindula lafta mo lew ko
so Auntie Hadi time jam
all right one more question
so Auntie Hadi how often should one go to get themselves tested cervical cancer
okay today then the screen for the HPV virus and you're negative you have pap smear which is the cytology and it is negative, VIA negative, then 5 years time you mun nga delu wat pour ñu screen la su dee nag dañ def HPV bi mu positive cytology bi mu negative and maybe VIA bi negative dinañ la recall maybe in 3 years pour nga ñëw pour defaati screening bi because comme nu nga la ko waxee rek virus bi mu nga get infected then immune system bi mu clear ko comme nu Fatou waxee su dee yaa ngi am sa immune system bi mu ngi strong mu ngi dëgër virus bi mu nga koo clear waaye su dee you are infected ko am ko infection with TB bete HIV or any other immunosuppression diseases then dafa dina help virus bi mu dina
exactly thank you very much doctor thank you Fatou for coming on the program Julde the time is totally against us
wa bala ñoo dem rek ma tay mo kuma solal tay mo nek
Barcelona fashion can you get up you stand this side so
Barcelona fashion ñoo solal
Barcelona fashion luñ dé def ñom
zoom len mana ngeen
jël len Julde
Barcelona fashion ma taxaw fan yow
wow it's all right
ma taxaw fi wa Barcelona fashion ñoma solal tay ñu ngi fi à Caraba Avenue Barcelona fashion nak Mohamed moko mom Mohamed fan lay taxaw
I'm not seeing Julde
I'm not seeing myself where am I guys where am I
all right well I'm told
time is over but anyway Mohamed
thank you very much for watching
ñi daal mooy loolu